there is a lot of aggressive buyers, right? They're trying to drive price up. Now, were they successful at this area at 67.95, 94? Were they successful? Well, not really, because we broke below this level. So what does that tell you about this entire level and this entire region from about 67.94 to about 67.90? That 5-point region, what does the order flow tell you about that particular price area? It tells you that price, there's a supply at the area. Buyers themselves have been absorbed. They've been exhausted, right? An exhaustion you can see with a zero. When you see zero at one high or low of the movement, that zero is a finished auction, which means that buyers and sellers they're no longer aggressively trading at that price because you see a zero, right? So you can call it a finished auction, right? Finished auction just means buyers and sellers are no longer interested in trading at that price. There is a new price that essentially the market wants to trade at. Your job is to determine which price that's going to be, and more importantly, determine the direction in which that price is going to be, right? So is the direction upwards or downwards? So in this case, what we can see aggressive buyers have failed over here. We created a bearish fair value gap. So what that simply means is that these buyers have failed. So who's in control of the price? Is it buyers or sellers? It's sellers. The reason it's sellers is because we had a lot of aggressive buyers and they failed at this point to break above here. Bearish fair value gap. Lots of evidence that buyers are unsuccessful at driving price up. Now, let's take a look at this 1 minute fair value gap, and let's also bring about the price action that represents it, right? So notice how I'm saying these are candles and fair value gaps, right? So the actual price action is on the right hand side of the screen. So look at the yellow box here. Let me make it clearer. Look at the yellow box here and look at the same region here, right? So specifically what you can see is you can see a lot of zeros, right? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, right? A lot of finished auctions, which means that the market isn't actually interested in trading at this region. So you know the market's going to move up or down, right? Your job is to determine if it's going to move up or down, and the way you see that is by looking at the delta. So positive delta, no reward. We also see positive delta here. The one that sticks out to me is 75 for 244, 75 for 244, right? Aggressive buyers have failed here, aggressive buyers have failed over here. Now the question is, if we break below this level, which is what we had over here, so we broke below this level, but also remember this initial break, we broke below the initial break. So if price can reclaim this area, right, what does that tell you about all these aggressive buyers over here? Because remember, there were a ton of aggressive buyers, right, up here and also here as well. What does that tell you about the aggressive buyers in the circled regions, right? What do you understand by that? Who is in control of the price? Is it the buyers? Is it the sellers? Well, it's the sellers, right? Supply is in control because aggressive buyers have failed. Supply is in control. So what that means is this is actually a supply zone. This level that I spent 5-10 minutes explaining at the start is a supply zone, right? Not because it's above the weekly opening price or the daily opening price. Those things help. But what gives you the confirmation to sell is the fact that sellers are in control. And it's that simple. It's not anything more complicated than that, right? So this trade, well, yes, it did play out. I think I must have exited around here, and price really did melt that day, right? So this proved to be a very large area of supply, right? Price heavily melted that day, right? So this proved to be an area of supply. Now, if you want to catch risk reward trades like this, you need to start understanding what's going on over here. And the only way you can understand that realistically is by understanding what's going on over here. So my entry that day came at 10:25 Eastern and exited around 10:40, whatever it was, right? So this was the trade itself. So $575 for the day. That was a close profit in the end, roughly a 1.8 R risk reward. And again, executions at 67.89, right? After I saw aggressive buyers had failed, aggressive sellers took control of the market. So that